Hey guys, I am back with a sort of kind of mega project share. This is what I have been working on mostly in the last couple of weeks while trying to kill the Antique Street 12x12 paper pad. I kind of did what I normally do, especially when I'm trying something new. I jump in with both legs instead of both feet. And yeah, so I made these two gigantic mini albums. They're not really mini. Just based on tutorials that I've seen and stuff I've done before. I made two, which was stupid, that's why it took so long, because I had gotten into a habit of making two of everything, because there's, two sheets of the same design in the paper pad, not realizing that this album is it's a bit bigger than 6x7, so when you were cutting a paper like this is directional, right? So I had to cut it, 6 this way and 7 this way. Well, if you do that in a 12x12 paper pad, you now only have 5 inches left this way, so you can't make the same cover twice, that sort of thing. So they ended up being sort of like a blue theme and a orangey pinky theme, although they have similar papers in both. I like how they turned out. They definitely could use some improvements, but for a first time making this kind of album using chipboard and stuff like that, I think they turned out pretty good. The cover was made actually with these bingo cards, bingo cards, that were on sale for Valentine's Day in Dollarama. I had them last year too. I bought them the year before. When they're all stacked together, I think there were 16 altogether in the package, and it came with stickers and stuff too. It feels like it's chipboard. It's actually just cardboard. It's not nearly as thick as you would have hoped, but once you've covered it with paper and cardstock and stuff, it's thick enough and sturdy enough to be a cover, so it worked out. Like I said, the card itself is a little over, it's like, I think 6 this way and just over 7 this way, and that's what made the covers themselves. And then I cut one in half to make the spines, and then I made a spine on the other side, well, not a spine, but like a flap, a closure. But I'll show you, I made it a little bigger than it should have been when I'm still learning how to do this, and you'll see why in a second. But yeah, these actually worked out pretty good. I'm glad to still have some, and hopefully they'll have some next year and I'll pick up some more, because it's, a decent size for making an album with, and it's not, you're not having to like cut giant sheets of cardboard down or anything. So I'll show you this one first. Now this is why I should not have made this spine. Here's the front, obviously. I had a little trouble with this cluster. This was a tag that I got in a pack of tags. They were layered tags from We Are Memory Keepers that I got at Scrapfest, not this past year, but the year before. And I had been struggling to use them, so I ended up using some of them in these albums and whatnot. And this one, it was just a white tag with this orange crepe paper on it, and that was it. And I grabbed it because it matched a lot of the colors in the album, but it was kind of a bland tag. I ended up covering it with these gold stickers that I had to sort of match the gold in the album, and stuck this Simple Stories tag on top, and then just threw some other embellishments on top as a bit of a cluster. I don't know how well it worked, but I think it worked out okay. I couldn't embellish it too much because the pattern is so intricate with the books and it says happiness and everything, but I think it turned out okay. But so this is the flap here, the opening, obviously the closure. I don't know if you'll fit in this. There's a spine there, sorry, it doesn't quite fit in. And then the back here. Like I said, the spine is really thick. That's the closure spine. And because of that, there's like all this empty space. And I had to use Velcro to keep it closed because I knew a magnet wouldn't hold it up. And there's not enough stuff to hold it up. So that was a newbie mistake. I mean, I imagine if you were to fill this with photos and ephemera, like memorabilia and stuff, it would probably get thicker. But I could only embellish it so much because I wanted the paper to do a lot of the work, so it only got so thick, even though I went overboard probably with making this. So, like I said, that's the front. I had to put a lot of Velcro on this. Woo, it's a lot of Velcro. But see, it drops right down when you take the Velcro off. So, yeah, a magnet wouldn't have worked. So my other issue is it doesn't really sit as flat as I would like. Now, I have been watching some other mini album videos and seeing that a lot of them don't sit flat, so maybe that's more common than I thought it was with these things, and it's not a huge deal that it doesn't sit flat. Again, maybe with more weight or whatever, for pictures and stuff, it would sit flat. But yeah, this is the inside of the album here. I just made a photo mat out of it cut apart, stuck it in this pocket here. I didn't do too much embellishing because, again, a lot of the paper is quite patterned, and I feel like it did a lot of the work. but I felt this pocket was a little boring, so I just stuck some gold adhesive pearls and just a couple of pieces of ephemera there. These are DCWV pockets from that DCWV envelope pad, so technically it's an envelope, but I just thought it was a nice way to use some of these up to stick them in here. And then these are some Heidi Swap tags that I got on clearance at Michael's like 2 years ago and had never used. So I thought I would use some of that because some of them had similar colors and they were craft. So I thought I would throw some in the albums as well. And then the next page here, there's just a tuck spot and it's a bit of a journaling spot as well. Again, I just made a photo mat out of some scrap paper. This is a flip up with some of this gold pearls there. It has a magnet closure. I learned through this experience that the magnets that you buy that are just like a sheet, like this was a sheet from Dollarama. It has like 200 of this size and shape magnet on them for like self-adhesive for like $1.25 or $1.50. They do stick to each other, but they don't line up properly. So like thankfully you can't tell, but they're not actually lined up. I'm gonna have to look into finding some of those magnet, like the Wonder Dot buttons. I tried to use the Wonder Dots. I have a package of the little ones from Dollar Tree, and they just didn't want to stick to each other or hold anything shut whatsoever, so I had to go with these bigger ones from Dollarama. But I'm just got a magnet closure there. I put another pocket in here because I didn't have a big enough sheet of paper to cover this, so this covers that up. And again, there's some more of the Heidi Swap tags. I might, if I have scraps left over, embellish the backs of these and like make this the front and this the back. But I don't think so because my scraps that I have left that I'm working with right now are very strange sizes, so they may just stay like this. This is another cut apart. That can be a photo mat or a journaling card or whatever. Let's move this down. You can see this is just blank with the magnet on it. And then down here, I just stuck this little tag on there. It's a little bit of a tuck spot, but I had nothing left to tuck in it, so it can be a tuck spot or you can slide a photo under it or whatever. I hope that's in frame. I can't tell. My holder is in front of that part of the screen. Anyways, close that back up. And on this side, I just have a flip out here, and that leads to a little bit of a waterfall. So this is one of the issues I ran into with trying to make two at once. Was I was running out of paper that was the appropriate size for what I was trying to do, and I ended up having to pad with some cardstock, colored cardstock. And it worked out because the first padding that I actually did was at the back of the album, and then as I was adding extra things, I ended up having to use some at the front of the album, so it all kind of works together. But so this is a cut apart just on some colored cardstock. I screwed up this one. I should have put the teapots facing this way. Wasn't thinking, but yeah, so that's the inside of there. Again, just some flip outs. It's another journaling card on some cardstock. So you can stick 4x4 photos on these. And then you can stick another picture down here if you want. I wanted to do 4x6, but basically it would be pointless to do a waterfall because the album is 6x7. So you could either do like one photo this way or like maybe two photos this way. So I just did 4x4 instead, and then this flap kind of holds it in without having to put an actual closure on it. Here we have another tuck spot done with another cut apart and another Heidi Swap tag. Kind of screwed this up. I didn't trim this thin enough, so that was a learning problem, a learning experience rather. Well, a problem too. I don't like how that looks, but anyways, again, so I just have this little tuck spot, and that's it on this page. Nothing here. This is a pocket. I just took some of the larger cut aparts, like this was an actual tag, and then this is like a big journaling spot. I just put them on the back. I backed them with some craft paper and put some twine on them just to turn them into tags. So then on the other side of the pocket, there's another pocket with this journaling spot, and I just made another photo mat with some scraps. And again, they're just got craft paper on the back. And then on this page, we have, this is actually a flip out, and then I just made a tuck spot out of a cut apart. Another Heidi Swap tag there, and you flip this, and then I just got an embellishment here. I think I left the corner up to slide a photo under or whatever. And then you open this up, and this was the paper that I pulled that I thought was more coordinating than it was. I really only matched the color scheme that was going in this album. It's a bit too green, and there's greens in this album, but there's not many in the other one, which you'll see. So I just used it a little bit in this album, again, to pad out the fact that if I had started with this project, I would have had more paper, but between the weird sizing and the fact that I'd already made those brag books and stuff, I had to sort of pad out the scraps a little bit. which is why I have these two belly bands. This was actually one scrap that I just cut in half, same with this side, and then I covered the gap with the belly band. Again, I made a journaling card, photo mat, what do you want to call it, with a cut apart backed on craft paper. This is the only problem with covering the gap, is that it gets caught. There we go. Another tuck spot with a cut apart and a high swap tag, and then another belly band and card there. And then this just closes back up. Put another tuck spot here with a cut apart and a hidey swap tag. This is another flip out to reveal a waterfall, again 4x4. It's over a little bit. I just put this cut apart here. It's just decorative. You can't stick anything under it. But then you've just got the waterfall here. You can't see it. Really wish I could get this camera up higher. And again, this is all just pattern paper. And again, you can get a bunch of 4x4 photos in there, or smaller, I suppose. And then you just close this back up. And that's just blank there. And then this, I don't know how I'm going to show you. When I was making this, it didn't occur to me. This might not fit on screen. This is a huge flip out. It's got a wooden veneer there to be like, hey, lift this up. So you have, whoop, that slid out. It unfolds like that. This is a one of the We Are Memory Keepers tags with a giant cut apart in there. Whoops, it doesn't. It was staying. I don't know why it's not staying now. Get in there. Stay put. But yeah, it pulls out more this way, and that's the end there. So you've got lots of places for photos and embellishments and stuff. And then I pull it this way now. It also has stuff on this side, and you pull it out. It's another We Are Memory Keepers tag with the hidey swap tag. And I'm gonna have to, there's stuff in the way on this direction. And then we have just that there. So there's plenty of space for photos and stuff. And again, because it folds out, I didn't want to make it too bulky with embellishments. And then we have this Chain Company Smash. These envelopes that I found in the kitchen section at my Dollarama. I guess they're supposed to be for meal planning or recipes or something. I just thought that the ones I had, they went well with this. Just stick a pocket in the back. And then again, I just have a photo mat made with the scrap here. And I put this up on foam tape to give it a little bit of dimension, because for some reason these pockets, the little dent where you can tell it's a pocket is on the back. There's no pattern really on the back. Like this kind of repeats, but there's none of this month or anything like that. So I didn't want to put the back of the envelope facing out. So I figured, okay, if you raise it up a bit, it's a little easier to get in there and put stuff in and pull stuff out. So that's this album. Like I said, it was a bit of a learning process. I'm happy with it overall, but I also know that there can be improvements. So this is like the orange / pink theme, and again, to stick this closed, you gotta lift the cover up. So that was a bad planning decision, but I'll show you the blue themed one now. So this is the blue themed album. I really love this paper. I think I like how I embellished this better, just because I found embellishments that worked better, like this cluster. I think is a much nicer cluster than the other album. Again, this is one of the layered tags that I had in my stash, and then I just layered some turquoisey blue ephemera behind it, and again with the gold pearls. So here is the spine in the back. I know some people like to embellish the spines. And they make like really dimensional covers as well, but I kind of feel like if you were going to be working in it, a really dimensional cover would be kind of annoying. I mean, I guess since it doesn't sit flat anyways, it doesn't really matter, but I don't know. So as gorgeous as those dimensional covers are, I find like you don't want to squish the embellishments by like working in the album. So I made it a little dimensional, but not too much. And again, we have our giant Velcro closure because I made these albums too big. And this is the inside of this one. It really doesn't want to sit flat. It sits flat here, but not so much on this side. So this is the inside of the cover. Again, same thing. I made a journaling spot / photo mat out of this cut apart. Just put it on the back on some craft paper. This is just a wood veneer from my stash. This is another DCWV envelope from the envelope pad. I tried to make a little opening here with a piece of scrap. It didn't really work, and you can still see the freaking magnet underneath it, because this is the one I tried to use the Wonder Dots with, and it would not stay shut to save its life. So as you can see, there's a little bit of bounce to it, and the Wonder Dots did nothing. So I had to slide in some bigger magnets, unfortunately. I just stuck some various, some various Heidi Swap tags with like blue and turquoise on them, just in there. And again, I embellished with that lovely, this is a 3D sticker that I think I got at a thrift store grab bag or something. And then there's also just some gold pearls there. And this side is blank aside from a cut apart made into a tuck spot with a tag. Again, we have the flip up here. It's just got the same as the inside, the teal wood grain. And then it's the same with the magnet closure. And then again, nothing down here on this one. It's just empty. But then we've got this pocket here. Same reason I had to make a pocket on the other one to pad out the scraps. Just embellished it a little bit. And then we got some more Heidi Swap tags in here, just showing you that it's a pocket and you can use it for embellishments or what have you. Again, we have one that flips out here, and I did put a tuck spot there. These aren't exactly the same design, but they're pretty close. And again, they have a waterfall here. They're not too embellished either, again, because you're expected to put photos and journaling in them. Again, same thing with the cut apart. I tried to make these similar in design, and again, I screwed up there. That's upside down. Whoops. So again, there's room for journaling and photos. Again, 4x4. And this page is blank. This page has another one of the layered tags with a Heidi Swap tag behind it. This is another tuck spot with the journaling spot on it and another tag. And this is again a pocket. Same thing, I made tags out of the actual tag that was in the cut aparts and this big journaling spot just backed on craft paper with some twine on them. And again, we got a pocket here. Again, this was a cut apart. And then we have a photo mat there. We have another flip out the other way now, again with belly bands and the cut aparts. And this one has double belly bands because I was really running low on scraps. So again, we have a tag, we have a cut apart, flip it open here, another one here. So lots of places to tuck stuff in this one. And that's flat. We have another one that flips out into a waterfall. And again, same thing, it's just not particularly embellished because you're supposed to embellish it yourself. And then again, you can put more there. This side has just a little, did I lift that? I didn't lift that up, so that one's flat, that and that ampersand. Again, we got a tuck spot made out of a cut apart with a little tag. And then this is the pull out thing on this side. Just put a little arrow there, say, hey, go this way. And again, we pull it out, got another tuck spot with a cut apart, and then just paper there. And then we gotta put it this way. And then again, it flips out again. This is another tag from the We Are Memory Keepers pack, and another Heidi Swap tag. And again, there's not stuff on this side, so I gotta fold this up. And then again, you've just got flat there. And then, again, we got a Can Company Smash pocket, and I didn't have space the way things worked out to stick photo mats in, like, the belly bands because they're a bit too wide, so I just stuck them back here. And again, just used some scraps for that. Same thing, put it up on foam tape so it was easier to find the edge. I considered embellishing the inside here, and then I figured I'll just leave it because you don't know what people are going to stick in it or whatever. If someone else wants to embellish it, they are welcome to. And yeah, that's that one. So yes, those are the two not so many mini albums that I made while trying to kill the 12x12 Antique Street paper pad from Michaels. I'm pretty proud of them. Like I said, it's got its flaws. I'm still learning. I think next time I will try to make something a little smaller, see if that works out better, or get a little more technical with the hinges so they work a little better. I am looking at possibly using 6x6 next time. This is going to be kind of a May into June project. Obviously, it's June when I'm filming this. It's June when you're seeing it. It's taking quite a bit longer to make these than I thought it would, but that's okay because I inadvertently killed 2 paper pads doing this. If you remember, I showed you the DCWV craft paper pad. I'm like, yeah, I'll use that too, and I probably won't use it up though. Yeah, these albums, that took up pretty much everything except some scraps from that pad. I've also had to sub in some craft paper, like cardstock from Michael's, which I've used probably about half of that pad now. Yeah, this took up a lot of craft paper. This took up a lot of craft paper. So I have inadvertently basically killed the paper pad already, and I'm just down to my scraps from the Antique Street pad. So probably by mid-May, or mid-May, I wish, mid-June, I will be done with this project and can move on to something else. So that's my project share of these two crazy, gigantic, quote-unquote mini albums. Well, like I said, I'm working on using up the scraps, working on some cards and stuff. Hopefully we'll have those for you soon. Like I said, I'm hoping to be done killing the pad by mid-June. I think if I hadn't gotten sick towards the end of May, I probably would be a little further ahead, but you can only think so much and make decent crafting decisions when you're not sleeping and you can't breathe. So I will be back with you soon. I don't know if it's going to be another project share or it's going to be an organizational video, but it'll be something. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know what you think could be improved. If there's something I've done that should have been done better, that you know how I could have done it better, please let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please give it a share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and click that little bell in the corner to be notified when our next uploaded video. Don't forget to check us out in the Facebook group, which is linked below, and I will see you guys in the next one.